3 words to describe my cooking style would be bold, eclectic, clean, flavorful. It's gonna be fire no matter what you put in your mouth. What's up, everybody? My name is Maverick. I'm a chef, creative, and entrepreneur. Creatively, I think I just draw from the energy around me. So I like pops of colors, I like flavor. I don't do a ton of research or going out trying to find inspiration. It just kind of comes to me. Pretty much, I just go with the flow. I would like to say my specialty is, I would say gluten-free, vegan, soul food, a lot of different things. And I like to infuse everything together to kind of make something unique. I've been a chef professionally for about, let's say 4 or 5 years. However, I've been cooking since I was a little kid. You know, started when I was 5 years old in the kitchen with my grandmother, my aunts, and you know, that's really where the passion started to brew for me. All right, so pretty much what I'm making today, I'm gonna do a twist on one of my signature dishes. I'm gonna be making a Cajun stuffed sea bass served with garlic mashed potatoes and sauteed spinach. So we already put our potatoes in the water for our mashed potatoes. Those shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. Pretty much got to start with the filling. First, I have my white shrimp. I'm just gonna cut it up real small. All right, so I have my shrimp. I have some crab claws here. Just gonna put a little bit of crab in there. I remember just being under my mom all the time, asking, what's that? What are you putting in that? Can I taste it? You know, I was always very inquisitive. Just being able to really watch that. It's a lot of love and stuff and cooking and, you know, when you're preparing food for your family. So it was definitely a memory I feel like I hold dear. Got our shrimp, some crab. I'm gonna actually dice up a few things. I have some shallot. I have some yellow bell pepper. Go ahead and take care of that. I feel like everybody has their essentials. You know, I have to have garlic. I have to have, you know, onion or shallots or something in almost every dish. So I would say, you know, garlic, onions. Definitely, I loved using like smoked sea salt, something I use often. My grandmother was a beautician. My mom did hair, my aunts did hair, so I was very much into like nails, hair, weave, like very girly. And then my friends like, hey, try out for the basketball team with me. I'm in like 7th grade, never played basketball, never touched anything other than probably running track. And I'm like, all right. And I naturally sucked for a very long time because I'm a competitor and I definitely can't ever be the worst person at anything. I really just started really working hard to foster that talent as a basketball player because before playing sports, I never had an aspiration to go to college or do anything. Some fresh parsley here. Fresh ingredients over anything, period. All right, so I'm about to start picking out the stuff that I need to make the stuffed sea bass. I can't stand like just frozen like vegetables or using, you know, I do use some dried herbs, you know what I mean? But it's best to have a combination of fresh and dried herbs and seasoning. I'm gonna throw in some garlic. some parsley. I have some vegan cream cheese. This one in particular is almond based. Just gonna add a little bit of that. Here I have some like this vegan shredded cheese. Cut a piece of this lemon. Add a little squeeze. I like to add a little bit of these herbs inside, a little extra flavor. Regular salt, some pepper. What I have here is some Old Bay. So just sprinkle a little bit of that in there. This is smoked paprika. Stir it up just a little. The crab is pretty much already done, so you don't have to cook that either. You know, incorporate that really good. I like to taste it. See if I need anything. In 2006, I think, yeah, my mom, she went to prison and she asked me if I would help her and get my little sisters, who at the time were 6 and 1. You know, naturally I didn't want them to be put in the system or anything like that, so I decided to take them. Stayed in school full time. I didn't want to give up my education. I just wanted to be there for them and, you know, not let them be split apart. You know, obviously we didn't have any other family members who really wanted to or really was able to take care of them. I worked 2-3 jobs, had 2 kids. It was cool, you know, I did what I had to do. So we have our filling. This is our sea bass. You know, everybody stuffed their fish different, but I like to just put a slit in the middle. All right, so just take our filling, put it inside. Make a nice little mound. All right, so obviously you gotta season the fish too. I like to put a little bit of lemon. So I got some smoked olive oil that I picked up. Just drizzle it a little. Smoked salt. This is a really thick fish, so you kind of can put a little bit extra. Especially the way I like to season my food. Some people should be bland. No, it's gonna be flavorful around here. When I moved back to LA, I kind of had a moment. I realized, you know, I really needed a moment for myself. I had had kids that were not mine for 11 years and didn't really have an opportunity to have like a, you know, normal young adulthood like most people. I had some relatives who helped me out and decided that they would keep my sisters for me. And coming back here, I really didn't have much of a plan. I just needed a restart. And that's kind of when I was able to discover a little bit more about myself. My go-to seasoning for fish, I would say, yeah, definitely, that's kind of the core basics. Smoked sea salt, pepper, garlic powder, and then like a little lemon. That's kind of like the base for most fish, and then you build from there. I'm gonna make this a little Cajun, so I'm gonna add some smoked paprika. This is a little bit of Old Bay. It's kind of a must-have if you're gonna do anything Creole or Cajun. I mean, that's really it. Slide it in the oven on like 425, and then you cook it for about 8 to 10 minutes. This is a thicker white fish. Takes a little bit more time than salmon. When I moved back to LA, a play cousin of mine, I met with him, and you know, we chopped it up, and he's like, you know, so what are you doing? What do you want to do? XYZ, and I'm telling him, you know, well, I'm really into fashion, I'm really into clothes, I'm really into art, you know, I really want to be a celebrity stylist. And he was like, okay, cool, you know, I'm gonna connect you to someone. But then as I'm showing him some of my modeling pictures and things like that, he comes across my food pictures. So, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, this is just something I do, this is for fun. So he's like, no, this is really dope, like you're crazy, like this is it. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to have no restaurant. I'm not trying to be a chef in a restaurant or nothing like that. And literally the exact next day, he calls me and says, I have a friend, she needs a chef right like today. Are you available? And at the time I had no job. I was kind of figuring out things, and I said, yeah, sure. And it ended up being an artist who was signed to Epic Records. I showed up the day, made them a whole like 4-course dinner that was very nice. They loved it. At that point I realized, well, wait, I can actually do this, like not necessarily having a restaurant. And then I wanted to figure out, you know, how to brand myself, like, you know, as a chef. That's when I came up with the concept of Maverick. By definition, Maverick is someone who's a radical thinker, who thinks outside of the box, who is eccentric. And I felt like that is everything that encompasses who I am as an individual and as a chef. So the next step, you guys, we're gonna just make our Cajun cream sauce. A lot of people assume like you just cook with olive oil, like olive oil for everything. Actually, olive oil gets toxic at a certain temperature. It's actually toxic, I think, over like 300 degrees or something like that. So if you're cooking with it, you're burning it, then you're pretty much like, it's it's not really good for you at that when it's hot. So it's best to use it. It's best to use it for like salads and different things that you can put it on raw. Grapeseed oil, avocado oil, canola, vegetable oil. Those are all good oils for like high temperature. So I tend to go with either avocado or grapeseed. So bay leaf, I love bay leaf. I add it into a lot of sauces and different things. It adds a lot of flavor. So pretty much I'm about to do like a standard like bechamel, to add a little bit of gluten-free flour. This is what you use to thicken. We got peppers, onions, bay leaf. Add a little bit of coconut cream. And add in a little bit of like oyster sauce, it's vegan. I'm adding in some herbs here. I then started working with catering companies around LA, like Wolfgang Puck and Patina Group, doing some private events for like fashion brands and things like that. It just kind of, it took off. I didn't really expect it to, and didn't really know that this was the passion, but you know, this is where I ended up, and it actually worked out. It's something I can literally do all day and not hate my life. So I think that that's exactly what you want in a career and in a passion, for sure. So I tend to make my own vegetable stock out of my vegetable scraps. A lot of people don't, but it's a good idea if you use vegetable stock in your cooking. So just save the end pieces and make a stock out of it. Add a little pinch of hot sauce. Some Old Bay. And some cayenne pepper. Just for a little bit of spice. All right, smoked sea salt. This is definitely the right consistency that you want. You can get a little bit, like a second thicker, but it's pretty much that consistency. Living in LA as someone who smokes weed and as a patient, I realized that edibles were the new wave. And so I was thinking like, you know, there aren't any sauces that are really popping. I have a couple of autoimmune diseases that I deal with. I can't eat everything. I have a gluten and a soy allergy, and I have to eat all organic or non-GMO. I felt like there was a need for that in the market. So I went and developed Mav Sauce and Mav Snacks. I want to say my most popular sauce would be my infused honey and my infused barbecue sauce. As far as my most popular snack, I definitely would say gummy worms or my gummy bears. You know, they taste really good, but they're also really effective. And then they're really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and add some tomatoes. I don't always add tomato, but I wanted to do something a little different this time. I feel like tomato adds a little bit of acidity to the sauce. Add in a little bit of the vegan butter, which it adds a little bit of savoriness to it. I'm gonna let that simmer just a few minutes. To be honest, being a woman of color in culinary is kind of difficult, to be honest. It's a male-dominated industry. Every professional kitchen I've ever been in, I'm usually the only woman of color, period, let alone probably the only black person. But for the most part, it's, you know, largely white male dominated. So you're kind of the bottom of the totem pole, to be honest. We're gonna go ahead and prepare, jump on finishing the mashed potatoes and the sauteed spinach. All right, cool. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that looked right. Your basic challenges as any startup business, specifically as to being a woman of color, is that I wasn't set up from the jump to be successful. But when it comes to business, you know, I saw my mom hustle. So it's definitely been a challenge and just some hurdles switching the mindset from the hustler mentality to a business mentality. There's been a whole lot of, you know, having to do a lot of research. It's all a learning experience, and it's all been, you know, just kind of challenges here and there. So I start with my spinach. Make a nice little landing spot for it. Make a nice little landing spot for it. Everything. So I'm gonna use a little ice cream scoop for my mashed potatoes, just to give it a shape. See that? I'm gonna slide it right in the top. So, I'm gonna grab some sauce. Good amount. Oh yeah. Let that ride right there. Always got to finish with a little garnish, you know, a little color. Slide that right on top. Just some microgreens. There we have it. We got our Cajun stuffed sea bass, sauteed spinach, and garlic mashed potatoes with a Cajun cream sauce. Once you figure out that thing you want to do the research. The best thing I've learned is social media is key. Photo quality is key. Video quality, key. Those three things will have you popping.
Yeah, when you the go, they don't want no smoke. I'm Tom Brady, watch me win one more. I'm Tiger Woods in the hood, know I'm good. I'm Drew Brees, this a breeze, understood.